I wonder.
No, we're not singing
Okay, go
our
ahead.
intro.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, this is Wine and Wonder. I'm Zach. I am one of the hosts of Wine and Wonder, and with me is my beautiful boyfriend and I guess other host, co-host. No, you're a host too. I'll just let him do the talking. Hey, babe.
Disrespectful.
Your name.
Oh, my name's James.
All right, and so this is our very first episode of Wine and Wonder. As you can tell, we are having a little bit of issues doing the podcast, but I think we'll get the kinks fixed by the real episodes. So Wine and Wonder, it's kind of what it says. We're gonna have a little bit of wine and just wonder into whatever topics that we decide we want to talk about. Today, we are going to start out with Wine of the Week. And then the segments we were thinking was probably couples quarrels, pillow talk, and then we'll just review the wine, and that'll be it for today. So, James, take over.
Okay, so Wine of the Week. Ideally, what we'd like to do is every other week, which is going to be the frequency of our podcast, is we'll have a new bottle of wine to try with each other. And on our social media accounts, we'll actually reveal what the wine of the week is a little bit in advance so that everyone has an opportunity to go out and maybe buy the wine that we've chosen for the week, or perhaps just go ahead and grab a bottle of your choice if you'd like. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the wine of the week that we chose for this first episode, which is actually a Chardonnay. And it's called Fit Vine. This is actually a California wine, and I thought it would be a good idea to use this as the wine of the week because part of our 2023 goals is, of course, health and fitness, just like pretty much the rest of the world with their New Year's commitments, is to be more engaged with healthy eating and healthy habits overall. So we thought that this would be a good choice. It's supposed to be somewhat healthier. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still wine, right?
Okay, so yeah, about that. It wasn't my first choice. I just want to throw that out there. I thought we were going to do something like a rosé or champagne because we were going to make a toast to our first podcast. But apparently I thought wrong and he wanted to be smart and sensible and be an adult and go with the fit choice of things, whatever. I'm not bitter at all. Anyways, let's just get into it now. Do you want to open the bottle or should I? Okay, so I'm going to attempt to open the bottle. So please forgive me for any yelling that you might hear here in a few seconds. So I'm also not the biggest fan of white wine. I'm not like a wine snob, but if it were my choice, it would not be a Chardonnay. Here we go. Oh, I hope that picked up. Don't you just love all that ASMR? Oh, that's my glass. Yeah, I think if this podcasting thing doesn't work out, I'm going to go into ASMR because I have such a relaxing voice. That is a big pour for you, babe. Sorry. So let's get into it. So I guess we're going to swirl the wine. I guess we are wine snobs, or at least he is. I am by no means a sommelier. I think that's what they're called, right? Is that what it's called?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, I'm no wine expert, but first taste, it's interesting to me.
For me, I mean, I love white wine. It's definitely my wine of choice. And I also love Chardonnay. It's actually my favorite type of white wine. It's definitely more on the more fruity, lighter side. It doesn't. It's not very full body. It's kind of light bodied, and probably not the typical type of white wine I would go for, but it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so I'm going to be the one to have to disagree and give you guys an honest review. It is definitely not my first choice of wine. It has a bitter aftertaste. At least I think it does. Does it have a bitter aftertaste? And I do not think it tastes fruity at all. It's just not for everyone. Okay, the girls that get it, and the girls that don't. And I'm sorry, but babe, you don't get it. Um, yeah. If you guys couldn't tell, I am probably going to be the problematic one of this podcast.
So you don't like the wine?
I'm not a big fan, but I mean, it's our podcast, Wine and Wonder. I'm going to have to suck it up and drink this wine and wonder why the hell I did that. Couples quarrels. That's a good segue. Like,
Okay.
you don't think so?
No, I don't.
So we're still debating on the name of all our little segments that we want to do. I thought couples quarrels would be a fun one to do. We are going to do this. So this week, what stupid thing did we argue about?
That's a good question. I really feel like we have a pretty healthy relationship. We don't really argue that much, to be honest. Well, I think for this episode, maybe we could talk about each other's icks, because that seems to be like really popular on social media and TikTok. So maybe we'll just say like 2 to 3 icks about each other.
So my first ick for you is you drive like a freaking maniac for no damn good reason. And then when I drive and go just one over the speed limit, you start going off on me. Well, not going off, but you call me a bad driver and this and that. And you act like you're all scared when I'm going 66 and you're over here going 85, 90. So that is a really big ick of mine.
Okay, so we can talk about this for days. But what I will say is I drive at the speed of traffic.
Lies.
And I drive sensibly.
No, you don't.
When it's necessary. What I will say is the reason why it's so different when I'm a passenger and you're driving like 10 miles under the speed limit is because you're an overly cautious driver.
I'm not overly cautious.
Who is very defensive instead of offensive, and you're more likely to get into a car accident that way, at least I feel like. So I think I drive very well, especially coming from Sacramento to Seattle, where nobody knows how to drive.
I'm not saying you're not able to drive. I'm saying you just drive like a freaking maniac, and it scares me half to death. I am not overly cautious, mind you. I do not go 10 under the speed limit either. I am not that dumb. Like, I mean, if it's like raining or something, which usually it is in Seattle, then I will drive 10 under if the speed of traffic is going that way. But I'm not going to drive like 20 miles over the speed limit. That is exactly why I said when we get pulled over, I'm turning your ass into the cops. No ride or die for me. Like,
no loyalty.
Yeah, no loyalty.
Okay, so my number one ick about you is you get water all over the place in the bathroom. Now, you have made a lot of progress. I will give you that. However, since we moved into our new apartment, you have a tendency to get water all over the side of the bathtub and all on the side of the floor, so much to the point where it's like starting to get a little moldy spot in the corner. And I told you multiple times to make sure that you close the shower curtain all the way. But without fail, every single time I go into the bathroom after you, there's water all over the place.
Okay, yeah, so about that, I have no comeback because I do know I do that. But in my defense, I do close the bathroom curtains. I don't know why water just gets out. Like, I think it's just the way you be positioning the shower handle because the shower head, because I have the water pointed straight down on me,
No
okay?
excuses.
Rain on me, tsunami, or whatever.
No
Ariana.
excuses.
No,
No excuses.
I try my best to clean it up. That's
Okay. What's your next ick?
my next ick about you is you're a bed hog. Like, mind you, I'm not a cuddly person to begin with. I don't like sharing my space. I don't like to cuddle unless I'm actually in the mood for it. Don't like any of that. But you have a tendency to take over all my space in the bed, plus yours somehow. I don't know how that happens. And then our dog Boba, he likes to sleep right up on me too. So I barely have any space to sleep in the bed.
So I like to utilize all parts of the bed because
You
I
have your
like to be
side.
next to you and I like to be close to you. That's why.
I'm not saying you can't be close to me, but you have to at least give me space to sleep. Sometimes I'll get up in the middle of the night, and then when I go back to lay down, there's no space for me to sleep in bed. And I have to wake you up, or I have to move the dog. And,
If there's a will, there's a way.
and then when I do sleep on the couch, you get mad at me. That's the will, or that's the way.
Absolutely not. We do not sleep on the couch. Everybody sleep together. That's the rule. Okay. Second ick for you is that every single morning you leave a half empty coffee mug on the counter with the straw in it every single morning. And you also leave other dishes in the sink. Like when you're feeding Boba, you leave the bowl that you heated up his food with in the sink. And you leave your half drunken. I wish you guys could see his face right now. You leave a half.
I'm ready to come in after his ass. That's why I'm ready to come in for this ass.
And then I have to come.
Your mom boy.
I have to wake up in the morning, and Lord knows I'm not a morning person, and I have to clean up after you.
Oh bullshit. Okay, go on. I'm gonna let you tell how it is.
And if I don't do it in the morning, I have to do it when I get home.
Is this a real like? Are you being serious right now?
My stomach cramping. Okay, go ahead.
Are you being serious? I know you aren't serious because okay, let's rewind the tapes or whatever. I'm the first one to get up. I do feed the dog. I do leave dishes in the sink. I do leave dishes in the sink while I'm getting ready, and after I'm done eating breakfast, then I go back. Mind you, he will snack right before he goes to bed, and he leave a shit ton of dishes in the sink, and I clean them up every morning. And like a pot, pan, the bowl that you ate out of, plus the utensils, plus your cup. That is like 5 things to my 1/2 drinking cup of coffee. And I don't use straws anymore. So that's a lie too. So
you don't use straws anymore because there aren't
any. Yeah. So your story or ick about me is a lie because I do clean up after myself. I pay my bills. My bills are paid.
Okay. I've heard enough. Last ick.
My last ick. You heard enough.
Go ahead.
Okay, my last ick actually happened yesterday when I was super excited to go over this podcast, and I was telling him how he actually has to listen to me now. He has to pay attention. He can't zone out because he has a habit of just completely tuning me out, and I hate that. It's an ick. Oh, and then you said that I get 1 week of your undivided attention, and that's during the podcast.
Correction, 1 hour.
What did I say?
1 week.
Whatever. I get 1 hour a week of his undivided attention.
Yes, that's true. Okay, so my last ick for you is the fact that when it's time to give each other massages, I am an A+ student, and I always make sure that my massages are top tier. But when it comes time for you to return the favor, you're half-assing it, and you give me like 10% to my 100%.
Okay, so this is a new development because I was completely unaware of this.
Lazy massage.
I'm not giving you a lazy massage.
You barely give me half of what I gave you. I can massage you for a full hour and give you like close to a professional massage as I possibly can. And then when it's time for me to get the massage, you're like,
What? You really think that?
You're like Flossie Dawn and lollygagging and this and that.
Do you really think that?
I said what I said.
That's so sad because I am actually trying.
Ooh, that's saying something.
Well, I'm sorry.
Okay, this is supposed to be light, fun.
Well, you're airing out stuff that I'm completely unaware of. Mind you, we haven't really gone over how to do our first episode. So all this is really new to us. And the fact that this is like developing news for me.
News.
Yeah. This is
breaking news.
This is like
coming in like a wrecking ball.
Yeah. My heart is about to be like shattered.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. It's okay.
We'll revisit this after because I'm not.
Okay, so
that was Couples Quarrels by James and Zach. Couples Quarrels.
All right, and then our last segment is about pillow talk. And I actually didn't have anything lined up for this. I think moving forward, before I go to bed, I like to watch a lot of random kind of educational videos on YouTube. It could be anything ranging from like geography to like, the tombs in Egypt to who ratted out Anne Frank in their annex hideout location in Amsterdam. Kind of sort of sporadic. But for this episode, I would just like to talk about the premiere of Drag Race and who our front runners are, who our favorites are so far.
So, what we like to do whenever we watch like any type of reality competition, we like to determine who we think is going to be the winner before like everything starts airing. So for RuPaul's Drag Race, I picked Anitra to be the winner. I love Irene the Alien, or Irene Dubois, and she was actually my favorite. Because I mean, Seattle girl, I'm from Seattle. Of course, I love Irene, but Anitra, that is my girl. That is who I want to win based off of this first episode as well. What about you?
I would say too, like we picked our front runners before we even saw the first episode. So we chose who our sort of favorites were to win. Just based off of the Meet the Queens episode. So I do think Anitra is a front runner. I mean, obviously with just a little bit that we saw, the talent was pretty spectacular and something that I don't think we've ever seen before on Drag Race with all of the seasons. For me, definitely my favorite so far is Malaysia Baby Doll Fox because I just like her personality and I like her entrance look. And I liked her runway look. I'm pretty excited to see what she's going to bring. As far as like somebody I think definitely has the potential to win, though, I would say without a doubt, Sasha Colby for sure. Because obviously she's a former Miss Continental and she has, has some really spectacular performances that I've seen online.
So I'm actually rather new to the RuPaul kingdom or queendom, I should say. Oh, look at me, queendom. Anyways, I'm relatively new to all of this. I'm not like a diehard fan. I really didn't start watching it until I started dating James. So I can't give anything like based off of previous seasons. I didn't start really watching it until what was it like? It was an all-star season, right?
Yeah, I forget what season. Maybe I don't know. It's a few seasons ago.
Yeah, But the only like real episode or season that I saw was when Bianca Del Rio won prior to me knowing James. Other than that, I really wasn't into RuPaul, but now I love the show. Yeah, Anitra, her talent show was the best. You do have to watch out for them quiet ones. Someone that, or two people that actually really surprised me, were Sugar and Spice. I mean, I've seen them on TikTok and I thought they were just adorable. And I, I don't know. I didn't like how everyone else was, I guess, counting them out because they are, I guess, TikTok drag queens. I mean, they made a point in the episode to say, like, that is how you do things now. Like, that is the time. So there's nothing wrong. But the fact that everyone was kind of counting them out and they proved that they deserve to be there. And I really, really like that. As far as someone I was not really impressed with, I don't know who was I like. Oh, I don't know.
I mean, Amethyst was in the bottom because of our talent show, and I think maybe that's somebody, to consider as far as like maybe potentially not doing well in the competition. Although I think Amethyst has a really infectious personality, and it's maybe just didn't have the greatest first week, but I think that there's going to be a little bit of a comeback there. So I wouldn't count Amethyst out at all.
No, no. And then everyone, okay, like I said, I'm really new to RuPaul. And so everyone is talking about Sasha Colby. No disrespect, but I mean, I I I don't know. I haven't seen previous work, so I don't know anything, but I felt like they were all on the same playing field, in my opinion. Um, they were all kind of just on the same playing field for me. And I I didn't see that oomph that everyone was talking about. Um, for her entrance look, I wasn't really impressed, but you said you loved it. So what am I missing that everyone else is obviously seeing about Sasha?
I don't know. I think anytime somebody has had previous success in their career, especially to the degree that Sasha Colby has had, I think naturally you kind of there's this heightened sense of reality of like somebody coming in and showcasing what people who aren't privy to their prior work is going to be like, oh, okay, it's good, but I don't really see it as great. Whereas others who know the level of success that Sasha Colby has had, they're going to look at it from a different lens. So for me, knowing her previous success, I feel like maybe I have that heightened sense of reality, like, wow, this is spectacular, versus maybe someone like yourself who isn't privy to that. It's like, okay, it's good. But I do still think that her entrance look stood out from the others because it was a full on sort of like tribal kind of uh, bodysuit that was matched her skin tone perfectly, and she kind of had like this bone in her hand. It was almost like reminiscent of like the Flintstones, if you will, but in a like cooler, edgier way. She was like the adult version of Bam Bam. I really enjoyed it. So I think she's taking her time. She's not going to really showcase every single thing that she has to give up front. And I definitely don't want to take away or minimize what Anitra showcased, but I think Anitra really went full throttle and is showcasing quite a lot of her talents up front. Where I think as Sasha Colby, having been a competitor and gone through such a major pageant, uh, is going to take her time. It's going to be more of a slow burn. So she's going to, she's okay in the middle of the pack. She wants people to have their eyes on her to see what else she's going to bring. So it's just kind of like a little taste, a little dose. It's like, I'm going to give you a little something, but I'm not going to give you everything I have all the way. I think that's very smart and wise of her to build into the season. Whereas Anitra, as great as it was, I hope that she can maintain that same level throughout the competition. And if she can, kudos to her. But I think that it's going to fizzle at some point.
Okay, I guess I get that. We just have to see who did you or who were you not impressed by?
In all honesty, I wasn't really impressed by Lucy LaDuca. I think because I like queens that sing live, but I think if you're gonna do it, you need to be able to sing.
She was no Jan.
She was no Jan for sure. I don't even think she was at the same level of vocal ability as somebody in prior seasons. I'm forgetting the name right now, but I feel like I wasn't impressed even by the vocal that she did give.
Yeah, it was rather weak, and her performance for me was really lackluster. Like, she did not move. It was boring. Like, the vocals weren't good, and like the choreography, if you will. I mean, she was really just standing there, moving her hips a little bit, snapping her finger. It was boring to me. So I felt like she should have been lip syncing as well. Like, it should have been probably based on the talent show. It should have been Irene and Lucy LaDuca. I don't think Amethyst, like, I don't know. Amethyst, it was funny at the beginning, but then it kind of like there was nothing else after she revealed the funny part of it. But I still think Lucy LaDuca should have been in the bottom.
I think Lucy LaDuca has a really great personality, and also I think the way that she pads and her proportions are pretty amazing. She looks great. I think her entrance look was really good. I think her runway was really good, but her talent show wasn't really there for me. So I don't know how far she's going to go, and she should definitely not rely on the vocal talent.
Oh, definitely not.
For sure.
Definitely not. I'm excited for this season. I am praying hard Anitra like goes far. I don't know. There's just something about her. Oh, actually, let's go back real quick. What's her name? Aora Mayari. The trade
or Mayari.
Aura Mayari.
Yeah.
The trade of the season. Don't get me wrong. He's cute. But
as a boy,
yeah.
I think he's really pretty as a drag queen too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I will say the looks were a little. I mean, if you noticed, she wore
all
black for the entrance look. She wore all black for the performance. She wore all black for the runway. And I don't know if that was just this week's theme that she wanted to stay in, but I hope that we get to see a little bit more versatility moving forward. And not so much, black. I think if you're going to wear something black, it's just got to be really, really good. And it was like, all right to me.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. Some of the looks, it was just all one level. There was no like dimension or anything like that. The whole him calling himself trade of the season, I don't know, like maybe he is, but that annoyed me when he was like that and then just flexing his arms. I'm like, there's a few other attractive people on there that I would consider trade, like Anitra. I don't know Anitra's real name, or not real name, but boy name. But I felt like Anitra might be the trade of the season, not Aura Mayari.
I think it kind of puts you off if you're announcing or, saying I am the trade of the season. I think that's something for other people to decide and not for you to say that just because you have, biceps and you think that you're more on the masculine side in comparison to the other queens. But I mean, if I had to choose just on looks alone, Anitra for sure. I mean, I think she's the most handsome out of drag in comparison to them.
That was a great pillow talk. I really enjoyed that one. We'll see what he comes up with on his next pillow talk episode. I'm sure it'll be random as fuck because he will be watching random ass shit all the time. I don't know. But pillow talk. Anything else you want to say about that, Ben?
No, that's it. I'm excited to see what this podcast brings moving forward. To see how it kind of like shapes and develops over time, and I hope that our listeners can tune in and be along for this journey with us.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. I think once we get the hang of things and make it not so awkward, because it is kind of awkward staring at you with headphones and a microphone while you're lying about me. Yeah.
Lies from the book of lies.
Anyways, thanks, babe.
Welcome back.
And a word from our sponsor. Oh, never mind. We don't have a sponsor. So if you guys could please click like and subscribe and just spread the word about us so we can get some sponsors, that would be great. Okay, thanks.